Welcome back to the Lockwood Chronicles. My name is Larissa, and today we are going over our spring TBR. And if you're wondering, Larissa, why are you wearing your bear onesie when that is usually your cold outfit? And it's 100,000% not because I'm cold. It's a metaphor.
A metaphor.
A metaphor for the bears coming out of hibernation into springtime. I have made a really foamy lavender vanilla matcha latte. I'm not very good at making matcha either. I see all the girlies with their cute little sifters and the little wood whisks, and the one that I have says just like put half a teaspoon into some milk and blend it. This one actually has turned out pretty okay, but alas. Here we are, talking about our spring TBR. I didn't even count how many books I have on here. 1, 2, 13, 14. 14-ish books. Will we get to all 14 this spring? No. Will we try our best? Probably like 50%. There are some books from my physical TBR, like my backlist stuff, as well as some new releases that I am keeping my eyes on and ready to snatch up, as well as some books off of Kindle Unlimited. We'll do this in parts. We'll start off with my physical TBR. Also, I should say I don't really know anything about any book on here. I know tidbits and smidges, but I also love to go into books blindly, like to know as little as possible. Therefore, I have zero expectations and won't be disappointed when it doesn't go the way that I want it to go. Let's do this! Let's start with my physical TBR, Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. I'm gonna guess it's about 4 people. They're all connected and they all are probably very smart people. Or at least one of them is. Probably some pretentious people in here. I really love her books, but all of her characters are quite pretentious, and I think that's why I like it. Her books are always interesting to me because they're very character driven. Nothing really crazy ever happens. Normal People has been my favorite of hers so far. Her latest one is Intermezzo, but for some reason Sally Rooney to me is a paperback author, so I like to wait for her books to come out on paperback. A tone of her books that are very specific and some people hate and some people love. She also doesn't use quotation marks. Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the last book of my backlist for her, and I would really like to finish that up before her new release that's coming out this summer, which is Atmosphere. They do take like an emotional toll on me. Very character driven. I really like her style of writing. All of her people have felt real, even if these situations have been absurd. I feel like more of her backlist ones are really weird concepts that aren't necessarily traditional concepts and can be a little bit outside of the box. All of her characters just feel very real to me, and I think she does a really good job of making them feel like actual people you can encounter. You see their flaws, their ups and their downs. Elsie and Ben have a whirlwind, that's a really hard word for me to say, romance. They end up getting married in a very short period of time after meeting, and then Ben ends up passing away after an accident 9 days later. And then Elsie meets her mother-in-law, Susan. Grief and complications that go along with that grief that they are both experiencing. A mother who has birthed Ben and has been a part of his life for however many years, whereas Elsie has been in a short sliver of his life. It's just giving spring vibes. Right? Spring. Also pink. Spring. And then we have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Again, spring cover. Raindrops, April showers, bring May flowers. This is I believe, World War II, and it is following 2 sisters who take different roles in the war. And it is, I've heard, extremely emotional. It will make you cry. Soon to be a major motion picture. And I believe it's going to be starring the Fanning sisters, which is really exciting. So I really want to read it before that. And it's a chunky one. Alice Feeney, Beautiful Ugly. I thought I was going to read this in winter because winter also equates to thriller, but I didn't get to it. And honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to it more in the spring. Because, again, look at the cover. Oh, there's a house on top of that hill. Did you guys see that? Can you guys see that? That little house? I've heard really mixed reviews for this. I do like her writing. The Wedding People by Alison Espach. I suck at pronouncing names. Wedding season. Springtime is wedding season. I would say this one would be a good transition from spring to summer. Trigger warning for self-induced unaliving attempts or thoughts of that. So this woman goes to this hotel to unalive herself, and when she's there, there's a wedding that is taking place, and she ends up talking with the bride, and I think she just mentions that why she's there, and the bride is like, absolutely not on my wedding day or wedding weekend. Unlikely friendships or something that goes on. But I hear that that sensitive topic plays a really big role throughout this whole book. Mentioned, it is brought up time and time again. You're looking at this and I would have thought it would have just been a fun wedding book. So those are the books off of my physical TBR. New release wise, woo! I think I have these all in release date order. Starting off with the Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Lori Gilmore. Hers are just very seasonal, cozy vibes books, and I just love the covers. I think they're so cute. I really enjoyed the Christmas Tree Farm. I thought that was her best one. And then there was the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Cozy, really like Gilmore Girls. That small town, everybody's in everybody's business. Just the hijinks and shenanigans that everybody gets up to. Because I really like the Christmas Tree Farm and Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I'm going to continue on with the series, and the covers are just so freaking cute. Next up is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which comes out on April 1st. I'm going to be a fool for that one. I just love her writing. I love how she is able to capture the rom-com element with more serious topics, and just those character developments too, and just the acceptance and self-acceptance, and her characters are so phenomenal. But again, even though there are like serious topics discussed in them, she does such a great job of balancing the romantic and like the rom-com element into them. I don't really know what this is about. Going in blindly. I think I might have read a synopsis at one point, but I don't remember it. Then we have Enchantra by Kaylee Smith coming out on April 8th. And that is the second book in whatever series that is. Phantasma was the first book, and this is following the sister. So I'm not really sure where we're going with that, but I'm excited because I really love Phantasma. I have to get out of my head, though, that it's not going to be, most likely not going to be Danny Phantom vibes. It's going to be a completely different story with completely different love interests, but I'll really love the Danny Phantom element. Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and that comes out April 22nd. You already know that I am going to be devouring this book. So this book was inspired by Taylor Swift's song The Last Great American Dynasty, and it is two authors who are interviewing this woman, and I believe they're going to be doing a memoir or biography or something about her life. I think it's going to be so good. I love the way she writes. I love everything Emily Henry has put out. I'm just really excited for this one. I think it's going to give all of the perfect vibes. Oh! My Friends by Frederick Bachman, or Bachman. I love all the books that I've read by him. I love the way he writes. I love his character study on that. It's very character driven. Definitely check out Trigger Warnings. I am guessing this one is about friends. Again, I really try not to look up anything. And then I saw that Allie Hazelwood is coming out with Problematic Summer Romance, which is coming out on May 27th. There's not even cover art released for this yet. She did announce it when she was talking about Deep End. For her to be like cranking these out, and she's having Mate, the second book in the Bride series, come out later in the fall. Like, she's cranking these out, you guys. Where does she have the time? For her. I just love her books. I think they're just really fun and flirty rom-coms. We love them. Last section is Kindle Unlimited. This one I am nervous about. Mainly because the 3 books that I have listed on here are all the first book in series. And they are all very popular series. This is going to come to a shock that I have not read any of these. The Addicted series. I want to read the first book, Addicted to You, by Kristen Becker Ritchie. I know, this series has taken people by storm. I know of the characters. I know the general premise of it. It is dealing with addiction. Just heard the found family element is phenomenal. Everybody raves about these books. Throttled, which is the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. Not NASCAR. I believe it's F1 racing. I think that would just be a fun one to get into in the spring and going into summer with that. The Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. I need to, because there are so many other cowboy romances that I want to get into, and so I think it will be great for me to finally jump into this series in small town cowboy romance. And I think that will kick off spring into summer really well. That setting for books has been growing in popularity. And well, you know, I would love to see what, saving a horse and riding a cowboy is all about. And have myself a big and rich time. So those are the books that are on my spring TBR. What books are you looking forward to? What books bring you that spring element vibe to them? Please put them down in the comments below so that I know what I'm missing out on, and maybe I'll look up some of those. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future reading vlogs or TBRs, wrap-ups, all of that good stuff. And please like this video. I would love for you too. With that being said, respect others, respect yourself, and do something amazing with your day. Thanks, bye!